Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of HMF Live. My name is Tanya and I am the host of the show, obviously, and I am the founder of Hustle to Muscle Fitness. I am a health and fitness coach and I love to take what I learn and what I've experienced and teach others and help others to find ways to live a healthier life in a way that makes sense to them. So thank you so much for being here, for watching the show now live or for watching it later in the recording, if that's when you do. I appreciate your time either way. So I apologize. I know I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because, as some of you may well know, I also work full-time for the University of Washington. And the last couple of weeks, they have had me going like crazy all over the road, all over the state, visiting different colleges, whatnot, and even across the country. I was in Boston a few weeks ago. So I apologize because I know I haven't come on here live every week, and I've just been sharing some past episodes with you. But I really wanted to share this topic with you, especially for you ladies. Sorry, I'm adjusting the camera here. Especially for you ladies. Now, this may apply to guys too, but I am a woman, so I can really speak more to the female experience. But for guys, feel free to insert every time I say he, she, or her, for he or him. So, you know. But this topic actually was inspired by, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have started therapy, started counseling, working on my mental health. And as my husband has too, marriage counseling and all that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to go through past videos. Actually, it might even be easier if you go to my YouTube channel, Tanya Morvik, and look through past videos, because I've also posted all of these old episodes there as well. And we've done a couple episodes where we talk about counseling. So anyway, so I've been in counseling now for a few months, since June actually. And so in the last couple of sessions, really kind of digging deep and deeper into me, and which, you know, of course, that's kind of what you want to do. Especially for me, I'm trying to, you know, sort of work on the issues or the obstacles that I bring to our marriage and try to work those out. And so anyway, so this was inspired by a past therapy session. And I've already talked to Gary about it, which is why I'm okay to share it with you, because I always talk to him about things first before I share publicly. I don't want to blindside him. But I have to first apologize to a lot of you, especially moms out there that I work with, because one of the things, well, first of all, let me say I'm apologizing because I've learned that I have been sort of hypocritical without even realizing it. And I'll explain more here in a minute. But one of the things that I have really worked hard to kind of message to, especially moms, is that you have to take time for yourself. You have to make yourself a priority, and in doing so, making you a better mom, wife, partner, etc. And for the longest time, I don't have kids. You all know that, especially for those who know me well. I don't have kids, just fur babies. And if you listen carefully, you can probably hear them running around out there. And I am married, for those of you who are new to me as well. And so to give you a little bit of context, my husband is disabled. He can still, you know, kind of get around on his own and stuff, but he lives in chronic pain. And so that creates other complications, I should say. But anyway, so we don't have kids, and, you know, I do a really great job of getting my workout in just about every day. And I do a pretty great job of making time to make sure I'm eating healthy and things like that. So in my mind, I feel like I have always done a good job of making myself a priority, of spending time on me and taking care of myself before I, you know, take care of my husband or my dogs or even work. And after kind of diving in deeper with my therapist, she blew my mind, because she told me that I have lost myself in caring for Gary. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing that I'm caring for him, but I've become so wrapped up in Gary's needs and Gary's wants, and what is Gary, you know, what's he going to think about this, or what's he going to do about that? Now, this is not a Gary bashing session by any means. By the nature of some of his health issues, it just naturally kind of happened. But over the years, like, because as we get older and as he gotten older, his health has become more prevalent, more to the surface as an issue. And so just by nature, like, you know, I'm taking care of my husband. And so what are Gary's needs? What are Gary's wants? What is this and this and this? And so through that process, without even realizing it, I completely lost myself. And I didn't know it. I mean, that's probably where I feel sometimes like a little, I don't know about empty, but feeling like something isn't quite right or something's missing. And so I apologize to all of you women and moms, especially, that I say, make yourself a priority, because I completely lost myself and didn't even know it. And I wasn't making myself a priority. Yes, I was taking care of my physical health by working out and eating well, and that's great. But the self-care that you really have to do emotionally and mentally, that's where I was really lacking. And one of the questions that my therapist asked me was, if you weren't spending so much time always worried about, you know, what Gary needs or does or wants or all this kind of stuff, like, what would you do with, you know, all that spare time? Or, you know, what would you do with all that extra energy you expend? And I didn't have an answer for her because I had no idea. And so that's why this episode is making yourself a priority versus being selfish. Now, and then after I had this therapy session, I went to a couple of other events, and the speaker at the session, like, was the same thing. She talked about how when you give, or when you, let me see if I can remember how she quoted it, because it was like, bam, right in your face. Basically, but when you, you know what, I'm just going to look up the quote because now it's going to bug me. I want to get it right. So anyway, the speaker that I was at this event, she's one of my favorite coaches that I like to follow. And so I want to find the exact quote because I don't want to screw it up. So one of the things she said was, the minute that she is a wife and mom, one of the things she said was, the minute I became a wife, a mother, was not the day that I stopped mattering, that I stopped being important. And the same thing goes for us. The day that we became wives, mothers, or guys, husbands, fathers, all that, that doesn't mean that we no longer matter. Because, and she was talking about this because she was at like a pageant or whatever, and one of the contestants was just like, well, it's just all about my husband and my kids, and I don't even bother with myself. Like, I do everything for them. And she was basically like, that's bullshit. Really, though, what it comes down to is, if I don't take care of myself, and I am now not talking about just physically, but if I don't take care of myself, how can I take care of anybody else? This is mind and body. So while it's great to do the workouts and it's great to take care of yourself with healthy, whole foods, you have to take the time to do the emotional and mental self-care as well. So for me, therapy is definitely one of those things. But sometimes it's about pampering yourself. Sometimes it's about personal development. Sometimes it's about getting away from the kids, having a girls' night, or if it's a couples' night, having an adult night, maybe it's going out on a date, whatever, but also taking care of your emotional needs as well. Here we go. This is the quote. If you put yourself last, the people that you love will get you at your very worst. Bam. So all of these things, obviously the universe was trying to send me a message that I need to really do a better job of reconnecting with myself. And so those are the things that I'm trying to work on right now. And so this is why I wanted to come on here and really encourage you. And I'm talking to ladies because I can relate to you the most. But I really want to encourage you to not feel guilty when you take time for yourself. To not feel guilty, whether that is in the form of working out, or whether that is in the form of making meals for you, or whether that's making your husband, if they want to eat something else, making your spouse or partner do that then. That's not selfish. It's not selfish to want a girls' night or just an adult night, or just out by yourself. Maybe you want to go to a movie by yourself. Maybe you want to go have your own spa day, whatever. That is not selfish. This past weekend, you guys saw here, I posted about going and having a kind of a spa day with a couple of my girlfriends. We went and basically it was like a 2-hour spa or a massage appointment. So the foot scrubs and the massage, the rubs, the total body rubs, or massage, and the hot oil scalp treatment, all of it. Just 3 of us ladies and their moms. We're all working women. And it was an amazing couple of hours to spend with them. No kids, no husbands, no work, no bills, no phones. It was awesome. And we realized we really need to do this more often. So it is not selfish. Now, if you start to neglect your kids, or you start to neglect your relationships or your husband or whoever, then now you're starting to get into selfish, yes. But it is not selfish for you to do the basically like the bare minimums to do you, to take care of you, because when you do, you become a better wife, you become a better mom, you become a better woman and person overall. So let this be a message to you. It was a kind of a slap in the face for me. It totally blew my mind. But so I'm working on how, trying to learn more ways about how I can take care of myself, and how I can kind of, maybe not always pamper with the massage, but just, even little things. Maybe it's just going and getting my nails done. Maybe it's going for a walk by myself. Maybe it's just going out and hanging out with friends after work. I don't know. But figuring out more about who am I now. I'm not the same Tanya. I'm not the same woman that I was when I first got married in my early 20s. I'm now, closer to 40. Who am I now? I've spent so much time sort of doting on Gary's needs. And it's not that I'm going to neglect his needs or, taking care of him when he has a health issue, but not getting so wrapped up in that I completely lose myself, which is what has happened. And it's probably what has led to a lot of our disconnect, is I, completely disconnected with myself. Didn't even know it. That's how easy it is. So ladies, really take time to do a self-inventory. Are you spending so much of your mental energy, so much of your time on someone or something else that has really nothing to do with your own needs? And if that's the case, really, I encourage you to find a way to carve out some time, whether it's every day, whether it's every week, to do something that's just you. Maybe there used to be a hobby you used to love, and once you had kids, that kind of went out the window. Whatever that is, figure that out. Maybe just take some time each week to just do that for you, and really start to figure out who you are again. Because I do hear that from a lot of women, that once they become moms, they sort of lose their identity that they were as a woman, and they become mom. That's their new identity. And I don't have kids, but you can see how easy it is to do that when you start caring for others. And so really figure out who you are away from the mom title. Who are you at the core? That's what I'm working to get back to. I want to encourage you to kind of take on that personal challenge as well. If you feel like you're maybe little disconnected from yourself, it's probably why. Get back to the basics, the core foundation of who you are. And share that with your significant other. Now, if you're a single parent, I realize that that's going to be a lot harder. But if you have family or people around you, every once in a while, like leave them with the sitter and go do you, boo. Like you got to take care of yourself, even more so if you're playing mom and dad. You need that time that is just you. Believe me, it'll make you come back feeling sort of wholehearted, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, and maybe even more energized to be a more present-minded mom. And again, dads, husbands, dudes, you can certainly take this same advice if you find that you're in the same boat. But communicate, if you're in a relationship, communicate that with your partner and just let them know this is where I'm at. And hopefully they'll be understanding enough to give you some of that time and give you some of that space. And I'll be quite frank, if they don't, they're a dick. Plain and simple. And they're probably demanding more of you than what you need to be giving. But getting on a tangent, getting on soapboxes, we're talking about you taking care of you. Your needs are just as important as those of your kids, as those of your spouse, and you need to make sure. And it's a challenge. I'm not even gonna lie. It's easy to fall into those old habits of like, oh, I gotta make sure they're okay, and I gotta make sure that they got what they want, and blah blah blah. And it's easy to put yourself last. So, ladies that I've been working with, I apologize for being hypocritical and not realizing it, but I'm going to do a better job of sort of taking back my own mental space, and I challenge you to do the same and reconnect with who you were before you became a wife, mom, fill in the blank here. So this is going to be kind of a short episode today because I really just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about that. Again, this was inspired by my own therapy. So that might be something you want to look into. Maybe you just need to go and talk to somebody. It's sometimes so nice just to have that outside person, really, that I'm paid to kind of just be able to bitch at without, hurting anyone's feelings. But to get that outside perspective and to just have that, release it, process it, and then move on. So maybe that's all you need. I don't know. Figure that out, and then you do you, girl, because you deserve it. So have a great night. And if you need more ideas or just more support, or maybe you need someone else to help you through that, please send me a message, because this is definitely a journey and a lifelong practice. It's not something that you just get and, it doesn't work that way. I wish. So thank you for watching, Ryan. Oh, thank you for watching, Ryan. You are certainly welcome. I hope it was helpful. Take this as encouragement. I know I didn't necessarily give you some tips, but maybe just generate some ideas and take that time. It's so important. It makes you healthier mind and body. So know that you are loved, know that you are awesome, and that you deserve it. Have a great night, and I will see you guys all again soon.